Welcome to the Talking SHHH podcast. That's right. We'll be talking about music, albums, live shows, bands we love, bands not so much. Again, we're talking SHHH. Join me, Scott Nokon, and Stephen James. And welcome back. We are here, and I still have the same shirt. Stephen changed. So the illusion that this is all on a separate day, I just blew that. But of course, or it's just dirty and it's going to stand by itself. But again, this is, hey, there you go, Devil Hand. Check him out. KP, Mike, Krusty on drums. There, check him out. Good stuff. Good stuff. We always want to support local independent bands. So please do so. So we were talking about Ozzy, going right into this next episode. I know, Stephen, you have the list of all the members that have played with Ozzy. So I'm going to hand that over to you in just a minute, but just to kind of finish off what we were talking about, the last two records, Ordinary Man, again, check it out. 2020, 2022, Patient Number 9, still, you know, good music for sure. And the fact that Ozzy could still do it was pretty cool. So again, really he did literally up until the end, he was still performing, and that ended up being that way. So we're going to dig into the members, then we're going to go back and look at the album sales for each one. But Stephen, go ahead and take it, because it's kind of a, there's some guys that we know of, and there's others that will probably be a reminder to me as well. So take it away.
Just real quick on this amazing album here. The Wizard, the harmonica is Ozzy doing harmonica. So kudos to him, whether that was by design or not. Ozzy Osbourne, 79 to 92, 94 to 25. Randy Rhoads, 1979 to 82, unfortunately. Bob Daisley, which you talked about in the last episode, Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake were the original bass and drums for the first album. Then came Tommy Aldridge and Rudy Sarzo. I don't know who Bernie Tormé is, but he didn't last long. Brad Gillis took over after Randy passed away. On bass was a guy named Pete Way, who passed away. I don't know his name.
He was in Fastway too.
Oh, he wasn't? Oh, that's right. He was in Fastway. Great band, by the way. Mm-hmm. Might be another episode. Jakey Lee, 1982 to 1987 of all. We talked about just a short stint. Carmine Appice, who was brother to Vinny Appice.
Go figure how they can't even say the names right.
On keyboards, Don Airy was 83 to 85. Randy Castillo on drums, God rest his soul, he passed away. Did 85 to 92, 95 to 96, 98 touring in 2002. Phenomenal drummer. He also put out a lot of how-to videos. Bass player from 85 to 87, Phil Suzanne. I don't know who he is.
Yep.
And then we introduce the amazing Zakk Wylde in 1987, who took over for the past guitar player of Brad Gillis and Jakey Lee. Geezy. Wow. Sorry. Geezer Butler came in and did some stints from 88 to 89 and 95 to 96. And Mike Inez, who was actually the bass player on that last Back to the Beginning, Ozzy solo bass player. This guy just shreds. He also plays for
Alice in Chains.
Thank you. Dean Castronova, who's another phenomenal drummer from 94 to 95. I don't know who Joe Holmes is. It was on guitar from 95 to 2001, which is interesting. And we have to go to the ultimate bass player, Mr. Robert Trujillo, 96 to 2003, 2020 to 2022. Jason Newsted did 2003, which was I was blown away by. Tommy, and lastly, his last drummer, who is such a showmanship with this, he's always throwing a stick up, is Tommy Clufetos. This guy is fucking amazing. Am I allowed to cuss at this point?
No, you're good.
This guy, he was the drummer that played on the Back to the Beginning a couple weeks ago. Actually, might be a month now. But Tommy Clufetos is a beast on drums. And for 2010 to 2025, he must have done something right to be able to be in that circle of musicians with Ozzy, Zakk, and Mike Inez. So Anyhow, that's a quick little wrap up of who has been in the band. I skipped a few because I don't know their names, but here we go.
Say their names. Throw their names out.
I have to go back. Mike Borden was on drums from 96 to 2010.
Yeah. So he was Faith No More.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So these are things that you know.
Yeah.
Joe Holmes on guitar from 95 to 2001. I think that's kind of it.
Blasco was in
Rob Blasco Nicholson, 2003 to 2020.
Yeah.
Gus G, guitar, backing vocals, 2009 to 2017. Adam Wakeman, 2010 to 2025. Keyboards, rhythm, guitar, backing vocals. My cats are all fighting. I fucking hate them. and again, lastly is Tommy Clufetos, which he is a powerhouse. He reminds me of Tommy Aldridge, where they take that stick up and do.
Oh that. Yeah, he's fun to watch. Definitely, I remember seeing him over the years. Go back to him really quick. If you remember Cryptic Slaughter going back into the mid '80s, that's where he came from. Gus G was a guitarist for many years with Ozzy. He played with I'll give you bands that we may have heard of: Arch Enemy, and then a few other bands that we just don't. I don't recognize his names. Adam Wakeman, again, touring for a number of years, and session player. He played keyboards and guitar off stage for Black Sabbath as well. So he kind of tucked him behind the amps. He also worked with which isn't metal, Annie Lennox, Travis, Company of Snakes, and a number of others. And Tommy Fluetos, I can't say his name properly. Yeah.
Fluetos.
Yeah. Again, he did work with Sabbath as well as with Ozzy, so that's where he kind of came in on that. And then Jason Newsted, yeah, that's kind of the surprise.
I didn't know.
He just did some live performances. He just filled in as, and then Mike Borden. I'm just kind of going in reverse order. Known for Faith No More, he was on Down to Earth and Black Rain as far as actually studio sessions too. And then he played at Back to the Beginning. And Trujillo, again, number of years, two kind of stints in that, which again, he's awesome. Joe Holmes with he played with David Lee Roth, and really where he started, Lizzie Borden.
Oh, interesting. He's still in a band with Lizzie Borden?
I don't know if he's still with him anymore. Let's see, since you asked.
I have a fondness for Lizzie Hale. And her brother that plays drums. That kid is a fucking powerhouse. And Lizzie Hale, I've seen a couple of interviews after the Ozzy thing that she did, and she was just so overjoyed to be influenced by Ozzy and accepted the invitation to play their band to do the Back to the Beginning. I would have worn my Back to the Beginning t-shirt, which I have, which was part of what I got as a package. However, it's in the laundry. Oh, I would have worn it to honor said legend, Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, for sure. In that, Joe Holmes, just to finish on him, Lizzie Borden, a couple records, and then with Ozzy played.
What if it's related to? Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, he's not. He's not. Right there, it says he is not related.
Cut that right out of this conversation, please.
Yeah. So yeah, the number of artists for sure. And again, it's what was Ozzy and maybe not Ozzy, but with the collective, the easiest to get along with? Probably not, right? Phil Suzanne, he played with Vince Neil, and he also did some writing and producing for Dokken and Toto. That might be something we're talking about. Even there's a number of facts I did a deep dive on with Toto. The last week or two, so look for that in a number of episodes. There's some like no S facts that come out as far as how many total record sales did Toto as a band have.
Right,
500 million.
He actually played on the Ultimate Sin and Ultimate Live Ozzy. Interesting. I didn't know. I mean, there's a lot that you and I are like learning, being educated about these amount of people that played with Ozzy. But when it comes down to it, it's that voice, that voice of Ozzy that to this day, even a few weeks before he passed away, he still killed it. I felt bad that he was strapped to a chair and was, his Parkinson's, which was sad. I mean, I bought that. I told you I bought that package and watched it live the entire time.
Yeah.
And it did shed tears when I saw him on stage because, I mean, I unfortunately didn't ever get to see him play live, which I don't understand how that can happen. Isabel, my wife, was fortunate to see him and still has a concert t-shirt from the time she saw him, which just blows me away. And it's one of those things where you kick yourself in the ass going, man, why didn't I ever go see Ozzy play? So my heart is broken over that. Also, my heart is broken because he influenced me and you in metal, and I'll never forget that. And that breaks my heart too. But at the same time, I'm so thankful and grateful for his contribution to music.
No, for sure. It's, in many instances, there's so much of a deeper appreciation after somebody passes. Like we talked about on a few previous episodes, that reflection was starting leading up to back to the beginning, right? And then obviously a couple weeks after that, which is well documented now, when he did leave us. But in that, looking back, I was able to see him a few times.
Awesome.
One of those things where, do you really realize it? That's why now I reflect and look at bands. Could this be the last time you could see an artist? Not that they wouldn't be on this earth any longer, but would they just stop touring, right? Would they just, go somewhere else? Elton John was one of those from a couple years ago that, you needed to, like, I needed to experience that. And I'm so glad I did. In all that, it's one of those things where it's just such a treat when you have the opportunity. And I guess that is kind of crazy, Stephen. Of all the shows you've seen, you weren't able to see Ozzy, right? That's kind of wild.
It does. It's such a kick in the ass for me. I mean, I've seen, between you and I, we've talked about the amount of shows that we've seen: Deep Purple, Pink Floyd, Kiss, Rush, Judas Priest, blah 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 blah. And I never had gone to to this day, when I found out he passed, I just realized, I was like, what a effing idiot that I didn't ever go see an Ozzy show. And I loved him since day one in his solo career. And didn't happen. And I guess that's maybe divine passage. Hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Who knows? But I was going to bring up, and this was my little reference, isn't very easily to reference. It was all the sales they had, but I do have a chart here. So let's run through this. I can see this. I just need to make it larger really quick. Yes. All right. So Blizzard of Ozz, Diary of a Madman, Blizzard with 5 million, Diary 3 million.
Wow.
Bark of the Moon 3 million. These are approximate, right? Ultimate Sin 2.5. No Rest for the Wicked, which we kind of skipped over. Sorry, Ozzy. That's a really good record. 2 million. No More Tears, that jumped up. That was 4 million. Osmosis 2. Down to Earth, that's when record sales started coming down to earth. Just 1 million. Black Rain and Scream. Gold, Ordinary Man, 300,000, and Patient Number 9, 200,000. Now,
sad to hear that.
Yeah, I was watching something earlier. Rick Beato, I enjoy watching a lot of his video content, and he was highlighting, and it makes perfect sense. Right around the mid '90s, certainly into the early 2000s, is when, if that was kind of the pinnacle of record sales, and also kind of reflected here with when these came out, that's when things really started to drop off, because with streaming, and certainly that would have been the last two records in 2020 and 2022. Is Ozzy getting millions of streams? Probably. Off those records, that would have been more of the reflection of what was going on there and what it's done. But would you have someone being able to sell 20 million records anymore in actual sales? No. Would you even have 10? Maybe not. It just, the market and the industry has changed so dramatically. But with that, overall, that's 50 million from Ozzy in his solo career. See, do I have it compared to Sabbath? It's his records from Ozzy's solo to Sabbath, he did outsell as a solo artist. But, Sabbath was no slouch either, for sure.
He played, there was that big, huge 3-day festival out here in SoCal, Us Festival, where all the heavy metal bands played. I think it was the second day.
Yeah, Heavy Metal Day. Yeah.
2 to 3.
But Joe Walsh was on Heavy Metal Day. But,
I don't understand that, but just for people would like to know, my mom's ex guy that she used to date was the guy that created the screens where you could see them.
Okay.
I was there on Heavy Metal Day.
Yeah.
Side of the stage.
That's awesome. Yeah.
See some. I don't think I realized what I was watching at the time, but was totally into it. So yeah, fun.
No,
fun.
that's really cool. Yeah. That's very cool, actually. So
for vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting to know the album sales compared to Black Sabbath. So what was their first year? Was 72 or in the 60s? I think it was late 60s.
70. Yeah. So Black Sabbath, they're probably US. So 2 million. Actually, I don't like how this is laid out. This is like what I got looks like it's code. So I'm not going there. For some reason it spit out something that's not really easy to put together. But in that, a couple million, 70. Remember, because 70, Black Sabbath and Paranoid. Wow, Paranoid both came out in 70, and 71 was Master of Reality in Volume Form was 72, and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath was 73. So 5 records in 3 years. And then Sabotage, Technical Ecstasy, Never Say Die. That was in 78, and that was time for them to die. And then 13 came out in 2013. But yeah, just a different time and place for sure.
Again, and I always talk about my amazing collection I have behind me. If you want to hear early Ozzy playing Black Sabbath songs, Speak of the Devil was one of my all-time favorites. And again, Scott and I have alluded to and talked to about the fact that we weren't huge Black Sabbath fans, but when you hear that, it brings it all. It culminates to a little bit of a now type sound, which I just enjoy. I think it's just such a good, and I think the production value is fairly good. My only critique is Rudy Sarzo's bass was a little cruddy. I didn't care for the bass sound or tone, but nevertheless, to listen to Ozzy sing those songs virtually right after he left the band, just killed on it. So if you guys ever get a chance it's on YouTube. You can get it. You can download or you get download it or whatever.
Yeah, you can do all that.
You can listen to the entire album. It's worth a listen.
Yeah, definitely. And I like how and we'll just highlight this again really quick. The response of Speak of the Devil. Well, it was in response to Black Sabbath and Live Evil, right? Yeah. So to kind of put it head to head, and there was discussion. I'm looking over at the bookshelf, which up here in the studio I have all music related books as well as music related alcohol, and then downstairs it's everything else. But Into the Void from Geezer Butler, he hit a lot on that and gave a really nice breakdown, which is it's a great read as well. That's Into the Void from Geezer Butler. Check it out. But gave us a whole breakdown as far as the reason behind Live Evil, and there was kind of similar feelings on the Sabbath side too, about this is all kind of like a dick measuring contest, probably is the best way to put it out there.
I think you were exactly right. It was a competition for sure.
Yeah,
and I've heard the Black Sabbath. It's good.
Yeah, that one, and I picked up a copy of that because I never had it on vinyl, but I probably picked up about 2 months ago at some just random vintage shop. It wasn't overly priced. I think I got it for like $25, but yeah, it was. I always remember hearing that back in the day when I would ride my bike over to my buddy Eric. He had the older brothers, which if I had half a clue, because I know you had an older brother that was into music and you were able to see Rush and all those bands. His older brothers, and they had a big family. I think they had like seven siblings. So, the brothers were, if we were 13, the oldest brother was probably like 25, and they were going to Genesis, Peter Gabriel. They were going to Journey. Yes. They were going to, Black Sabbath. Like, again, I stayed over there enough. If I had just a little bit of a clue, we would have, oh yeah, let's go to those shows. But you can't look back now, because I was like, oh, I want to see metal shows. And my first first band I saw live was Judas Priest, technically Kick-Axe, because they opened for Judas Priest, Fenders of the Faith tour. But yeah, I missed, earlier Ozzy. I missed probably Sabbath. I wasn't, focused and interested in Genesis or any of that. And I look back and I go, I wish I just would have just gone with it. You probably would have seen a whole slew of bands if I took what I like now and what I listen to now. But you can't do that. That's not how the world works. The Speak of the Devil. Let's just run through those tracks real quick if I can, and then we'll end on this because I think I have the vinyl. I need to go kind of thumb through all that, but I might have that.
Such a great album.
Yeah, but Symptom of the Universe, Snowblind, Black Sabbath, Fairies Wear Boots, love that track. War Pigs, The Wizard, NIB, Sweet Leaf, Never Say Die, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Iron Man, Children of the Grave, and then Paranoid as the encore. So good. So good. And yeah, everything that it represented, it got out there for measuring purposes, but it gives you something. And right there, that novelty of that item, that wasn't hard to it's probably extremely hard to find, but it's something that you can hold on to for the rest of your life. There's probably not a ton of those floating around that's authenticated, which is awesome. Yeah, again, that's the awesome thing with music is that, you can always reflect on it and be able to have it, to listen to at any time. And that's what Ozzy brings us. So would we do maybe another episode in the next week or two on Ozzy? There's probably one more, topic or two that we're kind of go down the path on, but I'm glad we took the last few episodes, Stephen, and we're able to kind of highlight what he did, what he brought, what he represented. It was more than music. It kind of created an entire, interest in genre, from the TV show of the Osbournes to all the quotes that he had over time, for all the little video snippets of Sharon, from looking at, I think he was on the Howard Stern show at least 20, 25 times. And so there's a whole kind of montage of that put together on YouTube. So yeah, there's just a ton of memories, classic songs, help so many bands get noticed, like Metallica, Motley Crue, Rat, many, 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 many others, Korn and Deftones we talked about before. But at the end of the day, there's this legacy, and he's an icon and always will be, to hard rock and to metal. And it just, it's just great. And I can't wait for the footage to come out next year of Back to, and it's probably going to be, I don't want to say a movie, but certainly, it's some additional footage that will probably bring together just his history. And like I said, if you guys have done nothing other than see or hear a couple Ozzy songs, go check out Ordinary Man, the video. Take 4 minutes of your life, watch the video, and it's just it's a beautiful job of representing all of his albums up until that point. And it's also really impactful.
Yeah, and also the charity, all this money that they made for that whole thing went to some amazing charities. And I have to strongly believe that when they release this live, whether it's in the theaters or DVD, I say DVD, you and I are so old.
No, it could be a DVD.
A physical copy would be nice. But do yourself a favor and give, because this is a great wake up to Parkinson's disease, to children's kid, all the stuff that they donate to. It was like, I don't remember the number. We'll probably do that on our next Ozzy topic, but buy it, because I guarantee you it's going to go to charity. So, and you do yourself a favor, because you can see some amazing bands that played live. Like I said, I watched the entire thing. It was over 10 hours, and I was just blown away by everybody. Even the first act, Mastodon, killed it. They brought all these drummers out. Eloy Casagrande, the drummer for Gojira, a couple other guys that did some, silly stuff at the end. But do yourself a favor and give to the charities. And speaking of charities, Scott, Wheelie Barbecue. Do we have that up?
Yeah. Let me jump over to that. I know past couple episodes we have not done that, but that's something that we really, really appreciate. And right now, and just this week. So when you're watching this and listening to this, you can now order Wheelie Q. That's WHEELYQ on Amazon. So you can order it on
cool.
Amazon. Yeah.
Nice.
And right now they're running a special. It's a little bit cheaper. I know Colin had mentioned that they kind of want to just kind of do a test run and see how it is on Amazon. So when I'm done here, I'm going to go click on Amazon and order some more. But
I've already gone through 2 bottles.
Yeah, I used some like last week, and I'll be grilling tonight, Stephen. So
Nice.
I might use some of that as well. So back when Colin and Kyla were hand filling hundreds of barbecue sauce bottles in their kitchen, they had 2 simple yet powerful goals: craft a delicious barbecue sauce from simple and honest ingredients and use their business to make a difference. That's how Wheelie Q Barbecue came to life. Colin, who was born with spinal muscular atrophy SMA, has faced the challenges of a life-altering condition with incredible resilience. When his condition forced him to quit his job back in 2013, he did not give up, though. Instead, he turned his passion for barbecue into a thriving family business in Wheelie Q Barbecue. It isn't just about great flavor, it's about raising awareness for SMA, and a portion, this is awesome, a portion of the profits, so of everything they sell, goes towards funding research for a cure. Today, Wheelie Q Barbecue is producing the original recipe barbecue sauce by the thousands, and it's extended their product line to include a barbecue rub, salt, pepper, and garlic SPG seasoning, which I'll be using later, and ancho espresso seasoning. At Wheelie Q, every bottle sold supports a greater cause, and every seasoning will elevate the flavor. Anything you cook, it's just going to elevate.
Believe
you even use it in.
I've got it all, and it's amazing.
And the barbecue sauce, if I may, Stephen, because there's video proof of this, you drank the barbecue sauce directly from the bottle on air. So go back, guys, and check out some older footage for that. I might actually, I'm telling you now, I might just take that and just make a whole little segment of
a plug.
Thank you for choosing barbecue, Wheelie Q. That is Wheelie Q Barbecue, and helping Colin and Kyla make a difference one delicious meal at a time. The coupon code is still active. It's TSP20. That's TSP20. That's 20% off at checkout. They also got some t-shirts, which next time I'll wear, and some other merchandise that you can get as well. But again, they're on Amazon. So go out, just type in wheelieq.com, or in this case, Wheelie Q Bar, WHEELYQ Barbecue, and I'm going to do it right now so that way I can prove and place an order on this, Stephen. But in that, yeah, just
too also.
Just do what you can to support them. Good products, right? Good people, good products. And Wheelie Q. Let's see if whoever gets there first. There it is, seasoning.
There it is. SPG. Oh yeah, it's got all of them. Wheelie Q. There it is. It's truly, the barbecue sauce is truly a phenomenal flavor. You know, I typically will make a barbecue sauce that's called Wham Bam, but when I first got bottles from them, I was like, I tasted it. I was like, oh my gosh, this blows it away. There's a video, and I don't remember which one it was, where I actually took a swig of it because it is tasty. And I've already gone through 2 bottles, so I'm getting ready to go and order some more. So
that would probably be their original recipe barbecue sauce, Stephen. Yeah, that you drank live on air. But yeah, right here in my cart, I got the SPG, and right now it's free. It's free postage. So guys, you're getting it. It's $9.95 for the SPG seasoning. Order 1, order 2. There's no postage. Again, it's a trial that they're doing on Amazon to see how it works. And they just got a couple orders from Stephen and myself. I know that. Wait, did I just order like 20 of them? We'll find out. Yeah, there it is. You do have to pay tax, right? Tax you have to pay. I will get it free delivery. I will get it on Tuesday. How's it? God, that's pretty good.
There we go. Yeah,
and order placed, and there we go. So guys, here it is, right there. Actually, I want you to see what's in my cart.
There we go.
But order placed right there. So Wheelie Q Barbecue, it's worth doing it on Amazon. So bypass our coupon code because you get free shipping. But certainly if you feel so inclined, jump back over to Wheelie Q. Thanks again for tuning in to the show. We'll be back every week with a brand new episode. Make sure you check us out on Instagram at Talking SHHH Show, and also listen on Spotify or wherever you can stream podcast. See ya.